think it's about time we start believing in ourselves and start believing in what we can become through Christ. You know, we need to learn how to be unashamed in our faith and have the confidence that God has given us. Go out there and not only spread the word, but go out there and inspire souls through Jesus Christ. You know, if God has called you to be a leader, be the leader that God has called you to be. I know that we have moments where we fall short and we might not really know our abilities through Christ because maybe we have not practiced it enough, or maybe God is just pushing us out there just so we learn and we grow in our faith and in what He has called us to do in our purpose and in our calling. We have to learn how to not allow our minds to hinder us or stop us, or, you know, allow us to stop what we were meant to do in life. And that also goes to me as well, because I know I have moments where I doubt my talent. I think a lot of times when we don't see the growth, we take steps back and we're just like, you know what, it's not for me. It's not for me. Or sometimes I think we focus on the wrong things when it comes to what we're meant to do. For an example, let's just say like you start a new job, you know that you're capable of doing that job because you have the credentials for it, you went to school for it, you graduated, you have your licensure, you know, you have the experience. But when you go into that job field, what people don't realize is that we do sometimes deal with this thing we call imposter syndrome. You know, it happens to everybody. Okay, it happens to every single person, especially when you start a new job. You know, it can really stop us from seeing things clearly. And I think at that very moment when you're going through stuff like that, it's really important to lean on God even more. I know that I've dealt with that experience over and over and over, and the first thing I think of doing is talking to God. The first thing I think of doing is praying, because I always know that there is something in praying. You know, I get a piece of comfort, a peace of mind when I pray, because I know that giving my problems to God is going to only help me and also solve certain situations that I'm dealing with mentally. You know, when you start a new job, you get very overwhelmed. And what I like to do in not only certain scenarios like that, but in situations when it comes to my purpose and calling, when I don't have the answers to things, I break it down to God. I figure out what is it that I'm struggling with, and I tell Him. I break it down in sections and I let Him know, like, hey God, this is this. I basically tell God, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm going through. Can you please help me figure out and help me learn how to solve the issue? Can you give me the answers to my issues? Can you walk me through this? You know, and the crazy part is God does walk you through it, whether it's to bring you people who can assist you and help you and guide you, whether it's to give you the support through your parents or your siblings, whether it's to just bring, you know, the word into your mind just to remind you of, you know, who you are through Him, and to encourage you that, you know, He is giving you this position, this purpose, this calling for a reason, because He knows that you are the best person for the job. Basically, as of recently, I posted a video on TikTok and IG, and in the video I talked about, if God puts you in a leadership position, in that position, do not allow the devil to make you feel like you are not qualified for that position. You know, he has no say in your life. He has no say in who you are. So at that very moment, you just have to rebuke those thoughts, you know, and replace it with what God says you are and who God has called you to be. And encourage yourself and let yourself know that you are capable of doing what He has set you out to do in life. I think another thing that has truly helped me is really pushing myself to just try to solve the problem. You know, don't freak out, just do it. And when you start doing the assignment or what you've called to do, you realize that you were just scared for nothing. You were just scared for no reason, because when you start doing it, you realize that it's not as hard as it seems. And that's when you'll realize that certain things that you know and certain things you've learned through God will start to come back into your mind. It's like God refreshes your memory at that moment when you start doing that assignment and doing what He's called you to do. And then that little confidence in you starts coming back. So I don't know who needs to hear this today, but you're in the right place in your life right now. If you want to make it in life, you have to go through obstacles. You have to face the challenges ahead of you and face it with full force. I can't say that enough. Face it with full force, head on, okay? And do it with God backing you. If you have to pray about it, do it. Pray about it. If you have to pray every day about it, pray about it every single day, okay? It's good to pray than not pray at all. So put it in God's hands and confidently walk as a person that knows what they're doing. Even if you don't, it's okay to ask God questions. It's okay to ask people questions. Never be afraid of learning. Okay, never be afraid of knowing your craft and your talent and your gift even more. Study it. Okay, learn it. You know, be it. You know. And in the midst of all of that, don't lose yourself. And don't let other people who are trying to attack, you know, your blessings stop you from doing what God has called you to do. Regardless of how long it takes you to be successful in life, you know, it's better to walk that walk than not have walked it at all. And it's better to start it and finish it than start it and quit. Okay? So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, and I really hope that inspires somebody out there today. I really want you guys to know that you can and you are capable of being everything that God has called you to be, and everything you desire out of life. If it's part of God's calling, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. So believe in yourself and believe in God who lives within you as well, and know that you are in the right place and at the right time.